Alright guys, today we're gonna go and do some work on a turbo Vitz. I've started this project before. I don't think I've done any videos on it, so this will be the first video on this car. But basically it's a turbo Vitz with a 2ZZ engine in it. I did some pre-start stuff on the car just to make sure all the wiring was correct before the electrician finished dealing with the car. So now he's tidied up all of the wiring and added all of the accessories needed. So we're gonna go and try to get it started again and just work on probably the idle and the cruising sights for now, and we'll see how it goes from there. So stay tuned guys. Alright, so we're here by the Vitz. We're gonna try the initial startup. Like I said before, we had the car started before, but now we're running the car without a idle control setup, so we've deleted that. So we're gonna have to work on the cold start just to make sure it starts when it's cool, plus and it still starts when it's hot. So you're gonna have to work out the injector pulse on cranking and stuff like that. But first we're gonna just try to start it up first and see what's up with that. Yeah, we got the car here started, so we're now just trying to get the fan to work. Again, some issues actually triggering it from the ECU, so I'm gonna just do some tests on that. We already tested the relay and that is working, so we're gonna just do some configurations in the ECU and see if that makes a difference. So we got the car basically idling where we wanted it. So it's basically holding the targets we wanted. Right now again, an issue with the ignition. For some reason when I start to apply throttle to the car, it's like holding back for some reason. So I'm just kind of playing around with the ignition table now to see if there's an issue there, because the voltages seem fairly high as well, but we don't know the bill on the engine, so I'm trying to get some information on that as well. Alright guys, this is just a continuation of Samaro's turbo Vitz. What you have previously watched in this video was just a brief introduction on the car. I'm actually here with the car now. Let me give you some back history on what has happened since then. It's obviously probably a month or so after that first set of the video. We went out with the car and started to tune the drivability and some of the boost area on the car. We realized, or when getting up into the 10 pounds of boost, the car was running out of injector. The duty cycle was high, so he decided he was going to change out the injectors. So I'm going to do that now, but also I'm going to deal with the cold start, because the car presently does not have in a idle control valve, so it's kind of iffy on cold start. So I'm going to just try to dial that in a little better to make it a little bit easier on the startup. But first we're going to install these injectors so that I don't have to go at it twice. So alright guys, so here I've already started to depin the injector clips for the new injectors. Yesterday I actually installed the new injectors, which are Bosch 550s I think. The issue with these Bosch injectors though is that the previous injector, the clip came up through here and it was easy to clip. With these injectors now, I had to turn the injector on the side. I don't know if you can see the back of these ones here, but I'm going to try to show you guys these ones here, and these ones are under the fuel rail. So what I've done now, or what we're going to do now, is I'm going to cut these off, all of these clips, and I've made some pigtail connectors so that we can connect these straight back in, and just in case he decides to go back to this injector clip for any reason, we can reconnect those. I was going to leave them on and just place them, but honestly I don't like the idea of a splice and also of an open connector to get corrosion in the engine bay. Here we have the 4 pigtails that I made. If you guys are on my Instagram, you would have seen me post these in the stages of making the wires and putting together the pigtails. I've actually already put some solder on the ends, so now we're gonna just cut the existing clips that are on the car and then connect these. Alright guys, so we've got the clips removed. So basically we're going to follow the same kind of color coding, just different color wires. So now the yellow wire will become the ground wire and the signal and power wire will be the blue wire for these new injectors. So what I have to do now is just clip these ends off up here, remove the installation of these wires, and then we'll solder them together. Okay, so we have all the injector harness pieces in. Gonna now try to do a couple primes on the car just to make sure that there are no leaks to the injectors or the seals. He's also brought new seals for the injectors to the manifold, so hopefully there should be no issues on this. Alright, just did a prime on the injectors. Don't seem to have any leaks happening, so we're good to go. Next step, we'll go in, recalibrate the injectors and try to fire up the car. Alright guys, I got some injector battery dead times that I inputted into the software. We're gonna try to start now. Not sure if it's actually going to start, as it was giving some issues with the cold start as well, and it's quite cold at the moment. As you can see, the temps are right now, but we're gonna try to start it and see what happens. Alright, gonna check on the battery because I think the battery may be low on the car at the moment. It's giving us 11 volts. Let me see what happens when we swing. Yeah, so the battery is low. Gonna have to let that charge a bit, or we're gonna have to try to jump it and let it build back up. Alright guys, today we're back here with Samaro car. We're gonna change out the map sensor. Right now he has in an Omni 4 bar map sensor. I found previously with these map sensors you get some issues in terms of the vacuum range. I found it particularly having an issue with this on the Toyotas, and I'm gonna show you guys. I hope you can see this. These are the settings for the Omnia 4 bar map sensor. As you see, you're only getting -10 in the vacuum, and if I go to sensor system, you guys are familiar with the AM. Now these settings are the settings that you get from the calculations given from AM, and also the information given by Omnia. Now I've tried playing around with some of these settings to get more vacuum, because this car is running at more than -10. I can actually show you guys that there now, and you'll see that it's actually sitting in the bottom cell. So when the car warms up, it's actually sitting in the bottom cell here, but on drive it's actually doing the exact same thing. It basically sits around here in the lower loads between the 2000 and 2500. It's still in here on the lower loads, so it's kind of giving some issues in terms of getting the mixtures right at idle and also at slow accelerator, like 5 to 10% throttle as well. So what we're gonna do is try to change out the map sensor to know the AM map sensor. I did this already on the previous Vitz that I did, and this helps a lot. Alright guys, we got the AM map sensor in. Just temporarily have it holding by cable ties, but we're going to build a bracket for it and reconnect it here where the previous map sensor was located. Now this is the previous Omni GM map sensor. So we have taken this out now, and we're gonna now try to set up the car with this map sensor, the AM map sensor. Alright guys, got back inside the car now. Previously had I have already set up the map sensor just to check the pinouts, but I'll run through that now. Okay, so those guys who aren't familiar with AM, first you go to the wizard, go to wizard setup, you look for your sensors, manifold pressure. So you've already got the 5-bar map sensor picked. We closed it. Now if you look, you'll see that we are seeing -14 in the vacuum. Before, with the previous map sensor, we were only seeing -10. So I'm gonna try to start it now. It probably will not idle because these load sites would just be a compensation from the previous map. So it basically just dropped those numbers, those millisecond numbers down to the lowest point. So you may have to do some adjustment to get the car to idle. So just trying to drop the idle now. Car was fairly rich. Alright. So now we got it at a better AFR. I'll try to clean that up a little bit more now, and then we'll go from there. By idling, we have better vacuum readings, so we should be able to get a better tune now on this car. Alright, so we're back here. I got a bracket made for the AM map sensor. Here's the bracket. It was designed and done by CSB Designs. I'll put a link to their Instagram. You can go and check them out. They're doing 3D printing and also prototyping. So they did this bracket for me. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna install it. I don't know if you guys can see this hole here, but basically the bracket will go here, and this is where we'll fit the map sensor for now. Added some pipe tape around the bottom of the map sensor. Here's the bracket installed. I'm gonna fit it in there. Why I put the pipe tape is just to give it make it fit a little snugger, and also using the pipe tape instead of like electrical tape or anything, it doesn't leave any residue on the sensor if you need to remove the sensor and put it somewhere else at any time. So now all we do is get it installed, and so we have the map sensor installed, and that's working perfectly fine there. Just gonna put a cable tie on this, and then we're gonna go inside and try to deal with the idle and the dead times of the new injectors. Alright guys, we're back inside the car now. The car has in some Bosch 547 injector. This is a replacement injector. The issue we are having is it's kind of, I don't have the dead times for it, so when I make some increment adjustments to the AFRs, it's going fairly far out. I did some research last night, also contacted Bosch, but they haven't gotten back to me as yet, but I'm trying to get the car back to the client. So what we're gonna do, I found a article online that shows a procedure to kind of identify the dead time, so we're gonna try to do that today. Alright, so there's quite a lot of glare today, so just bear with me if we can't see everything on the laptop screen. But basically what we're going to do is go to the fuel trims, and we're going to kind of trim out anything that's related to fuel on the idle, zero out all those trims, and we're going to set the battery offset, which is basically the dead times. We're going to zero that out as well, and from there then we're going to try to start the car, set the idle AFRs to 14.7 and make some adjustments there, moving up the voltage at whatever the operating voltage is to 0.2 milliseconds, and then put some load on the car by putting on AC, the radio, the lights, moving the voltage down and trying to target that same 14.7, 14.5, whatever we have as our target, and that basically then builds the map for the battery offset. Then they say based on those numbers you take the average of that and those two numbers with the loads on, increase the operating voltage by that number, and then basically that would be the dead time for the injectors. So let's try it, see if it works. So we've got the car idling, got the dead times basically sorted. The next will be to do the drivability, and we'll pick that up in the next video. So until then, don't forget to like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe.